Shout outs go to at Michael Van Kurt 3576, supporting each and every video. I definitely appreciate your support. Then we have at CYRILW. I can't answer that. As far as the Ultimate, I think it's a great RC. If you can afford it, get yourself one. That's all I can say at this point, but appreciate the super thanks. Then we have at Jeremy Stewart 1785. Appreciate all the support. Those that do support and can support, I do appreciate it. All right, welcome back. So today we have a green Xmaxx Ultimate. Yes, that's 3 Xmaxxes now. We're gonna go ahead, modify this one, brand new out of the box. It's going to the green white kit. Nobody caught this on the video where I said modify your existing Xmaxx versus buying one. So this is now going to take a $1,600 RC and going to instantly, with 2 products, make it over $2,000. And we're going to get into why a little bit later, just not in this episode. So by adding a Max 6 and a white kit, you're now going from $1,500 plus tax, which is $1,580, I think it is. $1,580, $1,590. $199 plus $150 plus tax on this stuff, you're $2,000. So adding 2 parts to this, going to make this now a $2,000 Xmaxx. Is it the Ultimate Xmaxx? That's for you guys to decide. I can say that I am truly a fan of the belted sledgehammers. It transforms any RC into a great RC. Especially, I think it was something that the Xmaxx was lacking, was a good set of tires for this thing. That's why I always resorted to going back to the stock Xmaxx tires, because they were literally gluing them after every run, but they were a great all-around tire. I just hated gluing them and them coming apart in the middle of a run. Sometimes you wouldn't catch it, it would come unglued. So, and I have my theory on that as well. Is it because the tire's bottoming out, pinching that glue weld, no matter what glue you use, it seems to either rip the tire right at the bead, or it comes unglued. So we're gonna get this thing unbagged, and we're gonna cut the zip ties on it, and we're gonna start opening this up and installing the wide kit. What I don't like about the wide kit is the steering links are now gonna go to plastic until I can get aluminum links, because aluminum links are not in this kit. But do the wide aluminum links, will they survive? I think you're better off with these links. But to keep it an Ultimate, you gotta get the aluminum links, which will be on order as well. So, haven't pulled the body off of this thing. So we're going to get into the modifications that I'm doing to this. I'm literally going to make this a wide Xmaxx. And there's a reason for that. As you guys know, I sold 3 Xmaxxes. Well, 2 Xmaxxes, 1 XRT. And some of you might be asking, why didn't you grab an XRT? I've said it before, I think there's more value in purchasing an XRT, but personally myself, I didn't like the way the XRT drove for what I use it for. The Xmaxx for me is definitely a better platform with the high ground clearance, which to each his own. And yes, this bag still came with no optional gearing. So we're still going to call on that. Just had to get a bunch of stuff together in order to give them a call. Like receipts, that kind of stuff that they're going to ask for. and then hopefully I can get you guys an answer. From my understanding, they have given the gear, the upgraded gear, to a couple of people, but I don't think that's going to happen for everybody, honestly. So they're just showing the 6444, and every other gear is considered optional. So I'll see if it's in the parts list. I'll have to figure out which one is the parts list, and we'll go from there. But meanwhile, I want to get this kit installed. And I really do like the light kit on the factory ESC with the brake and all that. I think it's something pretty cool. So we're gonna get some of this stuff twisted out of here, which is just control arms. So these are all lowers. There should be uppers. There's the uppers. The springs, and then we'll have to change out the shock fluid. But there's your 4 longer axles, your heavy duty springs, your 2 steering links, and then your 4 uppers. And that's it. That's all that's in this kit. So to take an RC even like this, it's called the Ultimate, there's still items that can be purchased to make this thing great. So did Traxxas throw every optional part at this thing? No. Still can buy gears. Still can buy the colored arms or the white arms. You still can buy the light kit. There's still a lot of things that you can still buy for this RC to make it the ultimate. So we're gonna do some of them right now. And if that's something you want to see, let's get into it. I've done one white kit in the past. It doesn't take very long. The instructions are basically on what to do for your shocks in English. So, and then you can call them as well. So we're gonna start with probably, the links will probably be the last that I do. And we will try to get the longer aluminum links. I believe they offer them now. I'm not sure, but I can ask Traxxas when I do call them. So we're going to get to popping this thing apart. Before you do that, you got to put a screw in over here. So you got to take that screw off the back side. I've made that mistake before. And you can't get to it once it's installed. Same thing, take the screw off. And then you have your choice of top or bottom hole. I'm going to put it in the stock location, which is the top hole. The bottom hole will give you more ground clearance. Knock out the steering now. So yep, a little bit of blue Loctite on there. Alright, now we have to get the axle out. So we're going to take this clip off. Clip. So once you get this piece out, it's going to be as simple as just pushing the pin through. The axle itself comes out. Grab your longer axle. Well, we need the piece that's in here. Attach it back on. Oh, bearing fell out. Clip your clip back in. Now this is ready to go back in. Three parts changed. All right, so now we get our axle put back into that hole. Steering goes backwards. Even though I'm still going to have to adjust shock fluid. There's our spring. These are all marked blue, which this one has no color marking, but you can tell the color difference. Just a stiffer spring. Alright, I'm going to do the other one, the right front, off camera. Steering link's still not connected because we'll have to get to the bell crank deal, and I'll show you how I'll do that. But meanwhile, I'm going to do the other front. long on top, short on the bottom. There's already still Loctite on it. That's why I haven't added any more. As you can see clear as day, hasn't been run, so the Loctite's still on it. Okay, nice and tight. The front is all back together. So now that we got the front is all back together, both sides, steering link's on, everything's on, we're going to flip it around and do the rear. Alright, so now we're going to work on the back. The back's a little tough because the wheelie bar gets in the way. So we're going to go ahead and probably get this wheelie bar out of the way. And they have the wheelie bar plug in here so that you can eliminate it. It comes in your bag with all the foam. So if you wanted to just remove the wheelie bar, you could do that. It's just 4 bolts. So right here where this clips in your bag, they give you this little plug to go ahead and just stick in here. That will take the place of the wheelie bar for the bracket. It's just a rubber plug to take the place of this bracket right here. If you want to lose the wheelie bar, we can go ahead and start disassembly. Push our pins through now. Move our shock out of there. Upper, lower. Do this right away so you don't forget. Upper arm, and the back is on the lower. You see, no captured hinge pins on this. I saw a video of somebody saying or showing that there was captured hinge pins on something, but that's something else we should be addressing here in the near future. So the little short screw goes on the shock. There is a short one. There we go. Now we're going to flip it around and do the last corner. Alright, just want to film the other side. So stubby screw. Take your 90-degree pick. Push it from the back side. It's always nice when the RC is new, because you're not struggling with anything. Blue at the top. I always put the top in first. Top and bottom pin are the same length. Get our shock out of the way. Pin. Takes a short screw for this one. All the other screws are the same length. So wheelie bar. If you don't want the wheelie bar, stick the plug in there now. Tighten the bottom ones first. The drill set to the lowest setting. So we don't strip anything out. They don't need to be any tighter than that. They're just into plastic. Now let's get the wheels put on. Alright, so I wanted to talk about that, or this. These tires are chipped with some sort of oil. You can see it all. Looks like glue, but if you watch my thumb, these things are super oily. They're just covered in some sort of oil in shipping. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something to keep the tires looking black. Somebody was saying that their Xmaxx tires were turning white, or their tires were turning white. I've noticed it before, is if you use a simple green or any kind of solvent on the tires, and then you run it, and then they're dirty, and then you clean them, and then you run it and clean it, they'll start to turn white over time. And Traxxas, like anything, They've literally put some sort of oil on them to keep them, I think, fresh, and so that they don't start to crack. I had a big problem with a lot of Traxxas's tires, is that new, just sitting on the shelf, they literally cracked and, you know, started falling apart just from not using them. So I don't know what they're using inside their tires, which is kind of unique. I haven't seen any other manufacturer ship with oil on the tires. So I think the weak part of the whole Ultimate kit was the steering links, and now we're back to the plastic ones with the wide kit, so I'm not too concerned about it, because I know with the wide kit it really needs the flexibility, especially if you land on one wheel, you land wrong with how wide this thing is. You might just snap that link even faster. But if you're not sending it that high up in the air, the odds of you breaking the aluminum links are pretty thin as well. You have to be going pretty fast and land on that wheel, on one of the front wheels, with the steering turned. In order to have that issue. Brand used. Have you got yourself an Ultimate yet? Have you got yourself a wide Xmaxx Ultimate? Love these tires. But there we go. That's going to end this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.